What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus Asakura, the one who never knows best, and in today's video I have something pretty special, or at least I think it's pretty special. Now I don't know how many of you guys are going to be as hyped and excited about this as I am, but as a lot of you guys are well aware, I have many hobbies. I'm also a collector of many different things. Some might even say I'm a hoarder, but one of my hobbies is going back and collecting things that I either had when I was a kid that I don't have anymore, or things that I really wanted when I was a kid but couldn't afford or get my hands on for whatever reason. Now, sometimes those things are very inexpensive and easy to find, and sometimes they're hard to find and inexpensive, or hard to find and very expensive, or easy to find but very expensive. And well, you know, from time to time on this channel, I gather up a bunch of items that I've bought and, you know, basically give you guys a haul video of things that I've bought, you know, for the sake of healing that inner child and just making me happy. I know y'all have seen the picture. It's been reposted on Twitter a million times, right? It's like a Feraligatr and a Totodile, and it's like buying things that make my inner child happy, something like that. Yeah, that's me. I'm Feraligatr, you know what I'm saying? And last year, one of the things that I bought was a Nintendo DS, and here we have this pristine silver Nintendo DS Lite. I know it's like super bright, but you see not a scratch on it, because I'd never owned a Nintendo DS before, which means I missed out on a lot of incredible games, especially like the Pokemon games. You know, I consider myself a decent sized fan of Pokemon, but I missed out on most of the mainline games, to be honest, because I never owned one of these, right? So yeah, I bought a Nintendo DS and I got a bunch of games to go along with it that I've been playing and having a ton of fun with ever since I picked it up and started binging that. So you can see we got a whole stack here. We got Pokemon White, which I just beat, Pokemon Heart Gold, played that for the first time, Pokemon Pearl, Diamond, Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Survivor, Naruto Shippuden, Ninja Council 3 and 4. So we just got like a whole little money spray here of really awesome games that I've been having a blast playing, and well, playing for the first time and seeing how much I enjoy them. Now I know real quick some of you guys are gonna wonder, what did I think of Heart Gold and Pokemon White? Pokemon White, we ain't gonna get into it too deep. I don't love it as much as some of you guys do. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it, but it doesn't compare to Heart Gold. Heart Gold is probably now my favorite Pokemon game of all time. I'm a big Gen 2 fan. That has always been my favorite generation. Gen 4 was really good as well. I enjoyed Diamond and Pearl. I don't have Platinum yet because that game is dummy expensive, and I know I could emulate it, but you see I'm very clearly very into physically collecting. I'll get to it one day. But Heart Gold, I think that is the greatest Pokemon game I've ever played. And there's still a handful out there that I haven't played yet. But some of those games you can't play on the DS. You need a 3DS, which I've never owned until now. So in this box, well, I just alluded to it, but you probably already knew based off the title and the thumbnail anyway, we have my personal first ever Nintendo 3DS. And this isn't just any 3DS, this is a new Nintendo 3DS XL, and these things aren't hard to find, but they're one of those things that are, you know, abundant but very expensive nowadays. I don't know if you've ever checked out how much a new Nintendo 3DS XL goes for, not as in like a brand new one in the box, but the new Nintendo. It's very confusing how they name the thing, but if you know, you know what I'm saying. These things are like $300. Now that's not what I paid for mine. Unfortunately, I got a much better deal, but in this box we have one. So let's go ahead and open it up because I'm pretty excited. So I picked this up off of eBay, which you can probably tell from the packaging. And yeah, so new 3DS XLs are going for around $260-ish to $300, all things depending, whether it comes with the stylus, charger, and stuff like that. Some of them come with a couple of games or whatever. But basically, you're paying around $300 for one of these. So obviously, I've been wanting one for a while, ever since I, you know, well, I mean, I've always wanted one, but you know, recently, like for the past year, I've been wanting one pretty bad, especially since I bought that DS. And oh boy, I'm excited for this. But anyway, I've been scouring eBay for a while, and I found one for a pretty good deal, but it said or best offer. And anytime I see that best offer button on eBay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to lowball. And the beautiful thing about eBay and the best offer button and lowballing people is that the worst they can say is no and just decline the offer. The even more beautiful part about it is sometimes they take it. So here we have a charger for it, because it did come with a charger, so very important, very nice. And then it looks like this is actually pretty well bubble wrapped. So let's go ahead and get this out of there. Just go ahead and slice through this and unravel this bad boy right here. So I want to say that this 3DS I found on eBay. Damn, this is wrapped up like crazy, bro. Do you see? Damn. Hey, okay, now you know what? I respect it. I'm very happy that you would take such care to ship this, especially considering how expensive it was, even though I did get a hell of a deal. So I want to say I found this, ooh, boy, for about $240, which was the listed price for it on eBay, which was already a great deal. You don't really find these anywhere near that cheap. However, like I said, best offer. So me being me, I offer the guy 180, which isn't like super disrespectful. It's a reasonable offer, you know what I'm saying? I expected to get turned down, and he did. However, the seller counter offered for 200. And so now I am the very proud and happy owner of the Galaxy new Nintendo 3DS XL, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. Not too much chipping or scratching or anything like that. And very nice, very nice. Okay. Looks like it could be cleaned up a little bit, but all things considered, for the price that I paid, I'm very, very happy with this. And of course, we're gonna have to see, you know, make sure it's functioning and everything like that. The screen, you know what I'm saying, decent condition, and it should be fully functioning and working and everything like that. But I'm very, very excited. Oh boy, now here's what I will say. The Galaxy print, the purple I don't mind. The Galaxy print, that's not really for me. So I've already bought a case that hasn't gotten here yet, but I was just too excited to open all this stuff up because I've already been sitting on some of these packages for a few days. Because of course, you know, I had to get some games and stuff to go with it. You know what I mean? You ain't think we just got the 3D? Yeah, we gotta get some games with it. You feel me? So I was too excited to open everything up. So I have a case and a few more games that'll be here in a couple of days, which you'll probably see it in a split second, in a jump cut or something at some point in this video. But yeah, I'll have to wait a few more days to get that. But yeah, man, here it is. You know, it's funny. I was just on, not vacation, but as most of you guys know, I was out of town recently for Rhymestyle's wedding, and Dotto was there. And Dotto had also just purchased a 3DS XL, and he got the exact same one because he walked into like a secondhand game store or whatever, and they had one. He was looking for a new 3DS XL, and they had a Galaxy one, and he bought it. And well, I guess now I'm in the same boat. But like, and it's funny because he felt mad dorky having the Galaxy one, and it's not really my swag either. But I got a case that y'all will see later in this video. So, very happy with that. Very clicky, very solid on the flip screen and everything like that. Doesn't feel like it's gonna be dying or coming loose anytime soon. But yeah, we got the charger, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug this up and let that start charging. Matter of fact, does it power on right now? Is there any juice in this at the moment? Where's the power button on this thing? Or do I just hit the home button? I've never had one of these, so I actually don't know. Oh, here's a power button here at the bottom. Ooh, so we got power, boys and girls. We got power. And this was listed saying that it was factory reset to the very beginning, like the default. Well, y'all know what a factory reset is. I gotta pick my language and everything. So it looks like we already in here. Now, there's one thing, however, this did not come with a stylus. So of course, I bought a stylus. So let me just make sure I don't cut through that. Let's just grab my handy dandy scissors and just get through there real quick. And inside we should have, boom, just a simple plain black replacement stylus. So let's just go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, just select English. Check that the 3D depth slider to the right of the upper screen is all the way up, then tap next. Yo, so I never had a 3DS before. That's trippy how that works. Yo, how do they do that? What is the technology behind this? How do they do that without you needing any glasses or anything? That's nuts. That feels like it would hurt your eyes after a while though. All right, man, so far so good. Everything seems in working order. I'm very excited about this. And also, this probably goes without saying, right? Obviously this is to be expected, but much nicer to hold in the hands and just feels a lot better for someone of my size. I'm a big guy with fairly large hands. I'm 6'3", so you know what I'm saying. So holding a little Nintendo DS Lite in my hands, it wasn't like uncomfortable or anything like that, but sometimes I did look a little silly. Not that I really cared. And obviously the screens are a lot smaller, but holding this 3DS XL, yeah, now we cooking. You feel me? All right, yeah. As far as I can tell, everything seems to be in perfect working order, and this stylus should fit right down here. Boom, perfect. And yeah, man. All right. So let's go ahead and set that to the side for now, and let's get into the games. So, any guesses what the very first game I bought was for my Nintendo 3DS XL? Any at all? Go ahead, I'll give you more. They might be in the thumbnail, so I don't really know. But if it's not in the thumbnail, you know, any guesses? You probably got a pretty good idea what's in this first package, especially considering the games that I've already purchased and everything that I've bought and the things that I like. But yes, boys and girls, you guessed it. The very first game that I bought is Fire Emblem Awakening. Ah, you thought it was gonna be a Pokemon game, did you, boy? Trust and believe. The biggest reason and the biggest selling point for me for getting one of these is obviously to play the Pokemon games that I missed out on. But there's a ton of other great games that I miss, not the least of which being Fire Emblem games. I can't say that I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan just because I haven't played that many of them. I've only played 2, but the 2 that I played, I really like, and I am now a big fan of the series, and I'll be playing every game that comes out moving forward. And now I'm obviously going back and playing some of the older ones, and this is one I wanted to play for a while. So Fire Emblem Awakening for the Nintendo 3DS was actually the first game that I bought, believe it or not. So yeah, we've got that now. Ooh, the cartridge is actually a little bit loose, and let me just go ahead and put that back. But yeah, we've got Fire Emblem Awakening, and you could probably guess, but in case you were wondering which 2 games I have played, it was Three Houses was the first Fire Emblem game I ever played, and then I played Engage, both of which I liked quite a lot. I think Three Houses was the better one between the 2, but I thought Engage's gameplay was insane. I know there's going to be a lot of differences going back and playing some of these older titles, but I'm expecting to still really enjoy it just because I like the overall concept of these games and everything like that. So I've heard this is a really good one, so I'm looking forward to playing that. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for other Fire Emblem games I should play, or even just other Nintendo DS or 3DS games that I missed out on, especially if they're like RPGs, JRPGs and stuff like that, feel free to drop them in the comments down below, because your boy is all ears. So I know I missed out on some bangers. But yeah, I also got on my way to get everything with box, which just makes it that much more difficult. And really not difficult, but just like I said, expensive. A lot of the stuff isn't hard to find, it's just expensive. With that being said, I think I got this game for about $25 or $30, which isn't too bad. And then we've got one more game here. I think I've got 2 or 3 more games on the way, but we've only got one other game here right now. So let's just go ahead and slice through the bubble mailer real quick. And in here, we of course have a Pokemon game, but it's not the one you probably expect. It's actually Pokemon Sun, which I know Sun and Moon are not loved by most people, but these games are really cheap. So it was really easy to go ahead and grab one of them. I'll probably grab Moon as well because you can find that game for like 20 bucks. But obviously I'm not going to play this until I've played through X and Y, and then I'll go on to play Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, etc. I want to play Black 2 and or White 2, but those games are like $200 a piece, especially if you're trying to get them complete in box, which I do with all of these games, as you can see, like I've done here with Sun. Got the stuff. I'm just making sure that everything is in here. Yeah, it's all here. But anyway, yeah, so getting these in box, which like I said isn't anything crazy for Sun and Moon, but yeah, for those games it's a really big deal. So first 2 3DS games in my collection, we have Fire Emblem Awakening and Pokemon Sun. And I have to wait a few more days, but you guys are going to see me here in just a moment open up the other games that I've also purchased. And so here we are a few days later, and I have several more packages to open with you guys. So let's go ahead and start cracking them open. Now, I don't remember which is which. I know there's 3 games, and one of these is the case that I mentioned to you guys before. I know this one is the case because this package just got here like 15 minutes ago. But as far as the games, I don't remember which one is which at this point because I was letting these pile up. And also, I have no self-control. And I already have a few more that are on the way that aren't going to be in this video just because I just want to get this video up. But yeah, we're just going to jump right into these. And I guess we can start off with this black bubble mailer here and just start cracking these open. So these were all purchased from eBay. But yeah, it's safe to say that I'm knee deep into this whole 3DS thing now with my collection. So the first game we have, or I guess this is the 3rd game of the video. What do we have here? Oh, this is probably the one you guys expected to be my first 3DS game. Here we have Pokemon X. Yeah, I Sun, I don't remember which one I bought first, but Sun got here first. But of course, X comes before Sun. But Pokemon games, like, they're not really, outside of like, you know, Black and Black 2 and, you know, I guess like Sun and Ultra Sun, right? And Ultra Moon and Ultra Moon by extension, you know what I'm saying? You can really play them in any order, so it really doesn't matter. And even then, you know. But yeah, Pokemon X. I've always thought that this game looked like one that I would enjoy. I really like the starters in this game as well. Chespin is really cool. His evolutionary line, not so much. But regardless, I'm probably going to pick Froakie when I play because, come on, like, call me basic, say whatever you want. Greninja's really that dude. But yeah, we've got Pokemon X, which I think, I want to say I got this for about 30 bucks. So not too bad. Not too bad. Complete in box and everything like that. You know what I mean? So very happy to add that to the collection. Also, it's been a couple of days now, right? So I'm I'm deep into my playthrough of Fire Emblem Awakening. I'm on chapter 13 already. I'm really enjoying that game. I'm having a blast. And as soon as I finish that, I'll probably start this up, to be honest. I really wanted to play like Black 2 or White 2, but those games are just like so expensive that I know I could emulate it, but like we went through that already. So Pokemon X, we got that one. Let me go ahead and toss this to the side. Next up, we've got another bubble mailer. So let's see what's behind door number 2. So in here we have, this is a game that from what I hear isn't that good, but it was like super cheap and I'm just a fan of this franchise at this point. So I just kind of wanted to have it just cause. But here we have Fire Emblem Warriors. I don't think this game is supposed to be particularly good, but it's published by Koei Tecmo, which I like every game I've played from them, and I like every Fire Emblem game I've played. So I know this isn't like your typical like Fire Emblem game, but I got it for literally $10, like $10 shipped to my door. I was like, yeah, come on, it can't be that bad, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be worth $10, maybe not, but regardless, it's in the collection now. It's also one of the only games I've ever seen that's like for the new Nintendo 3DS. I very rarely see like that branding on these, so I don't know. It's cool to me. But yeah, the strongest bonds are forged in battle. Save the world from the evil Chaos Dragon in this fusion of Fire Emblem and Warrior style gameplay. I don't know. I think I'm gonna like it personally, and if I don't, well, it was $10. It is what it is. So Pokemon X, Fire Emblem Warriors, and we've got one more game in here, and I actually don't know. I don't remember which one this is. 'Cause like I said, I already bought some others that are on the way, so I actually do not know what's in here. I could check my eBay purchase history, I guess, but where's the fun in that? Let's both be surprised. Now they shipped this in a box as opposed to a bubble mailer. So let me just see how I crack into this with all the tape and whatnot. Boom, boom. Also, this is a brand new box cutter that I just cracked open prior to starting this video. So it's very sharp. It's slicing through all this stuff like butter. All right, so we've got plenty of bubble wrap in here. So let's go ahead and fish this out of there. Anything else in there? No. In here we have, oh, right. So this is one of the few games in the series that I have not actually played or ever owned. And here we have Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2, or 358 over 2 days, however you pronounce it. It's convoluted as, but ain't that the story of Kingdom Hearts is being convoluted as all hell? Yeah, I know this isn't a 3DS game, it's a DS game, but I just I never played it. This is one of the few games in the Kingdom Hearts franchise that I've never played. And I have a really weird relationship with Kingdom Hearts because I really liked Kingdom Hearts growing up. I would still consider like KH2/KH2 Final Mix like one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. But I'm not gonna lie, now that I'm older, like I kind of hate how all over the place the story is and how you have to play like all these like spin-off games and like different consoles and handhelds and stuff. And like, again, I never owned a Nintendo DS, so I didn't play this or Dream Drop Distance. And it wasn't until like later in life that I went black. Yeah, it wasn't until later in life I went black. You know what I'm saying? I went back and played like Rechain of Memories, and I've played most of the games in the series, but most of them aren't that great in my opinion. It's really just Cage 1 and 2 that like I really love, and some of the others are just like okay at best. And in Rechain of Memories case, I think that game is awful and one of the worst video games I've ever played. But we'll see how I feel about this one and 3D whenever I get a chance to grab that. But then you have Kingdom Hearts 3, which really wasn't a big fan of. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't know, I have a really weird relationship with the franchise now because like Cage 1 and 2 are like the only games that like I actually like genuinely like really love, and everything else is kind of like you know what I mean? But we'll see. I always wanted to play this, so I finally got my hands on it, so that's another one to the collection. And now last but certainly not least, we have the case that I bought. I'm sure you're all dying to know what case I got. Well, this package actually comes to us all the way from Australia, so it took a while to get here. Let me see, I'm just cut through this tape. Obviously that probably helped when you big dumb. But yeah, I actually found this from a seller on Etsy. I don't frequent Etsy often, but whenever I do, I find some really cool stuff on there. So toss this to the side, and you can kind of already see it through the bubble wrap. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? So let's go ahead. I believe that the seller actually 3D prints these themselves. They like custom made this. So these are just plates that you can just snap right on. And this is very nice. This feels official. I ain't gonna lie. This is pretty nice quality. But here you can see we have a plate that you slap onto your 3DS that turns it into a Pokédex. And I thought that that was really cool. Now this has two different versions. I got the standard version, but there is like a another special version that he makes where it has like extra slots on the bottom where you can like store some, like a couple of extra games. But yeah, and then this is just, you know, just a red plate. So let's go ahead and grab my 3DS and just go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, make it do what it do. So I should just be able to just snap this into place, right? Boom, fits like a glove. Perfect. Perfect. And then we take the top plate and awesome. Oh, I love that. I love that a lot. I like that a lot. We've now gone from the, of course, dorky, childish, and immature Galaxy print to the very mature, grown-up, demure Pokédex case, because this is obviously so much better, right? To me, it genuinely is, though. I think this looks way cooler, but that's just me. But yeah, no, this is really dope. This is really dope. I like that a lot. Now, the only thing is that this feels pretty good. It doesn't really add to like too much weight or like bulk to it. I mean, the 3DS is already like decent size as it is. But since mine is the Galaxy one, the like this isn't like a black or a gray for the I guess the hinge, let's just call it, on like the top of the 3DS, and the inside it's kind of like a blue. Yeah, I would say this is blue, right? And you know, it would definitely look a lot better if this was black, but I still like it nonetheless, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's really cool. And obviously it's just a plate that I can slap on and off. And I think they make other skins, and not just this person, but just like in general, there are people on Etsy or on eBay, and even Nintendo themselves has put out like official like skins and plates and stuff that you can slap on your 3DS. But I think this is super dope. This is really sick. I'm very happy with how this turned out. And it got here relatively quick, all things considered. Like there's stuff that I ordered on eBay that don't show up as fast as this showed up all the way from Australia. So kudos to whoever shipped this out. And I guess the Australian Post for getting it to me in a timely manner. If you do want one of these for yourself, I can leave a link to it in the description down below if you're at all interested in this case. But yeah, man, I think that's pretty dope. I think that's pretty dope. So that, boys and girls, is everything that I've gotten so far with my Nintendo 3DS. Where did I put those other two games? Like I said, I've got more on the way, and if you guys want an update video at some point with like, you know, retro games that I've bought, I'll probably do it, but let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, we've got a few Pokemon games, a couple of Fire Emblem games, and Kingdom Hearts. So we've got Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, Pokemon X, Pokemon Sun, and then we've got Fire Emblem Warriors and Fire Emblem Awakening. So pretty decent little collection to get the 3DS thing started, you know what I'm saying? Pretty decent little spread if I do say so myself. But like I also said, if you guys have any recommendations for really good DS or 3DS games that like I don't already have or haven't played, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, I do have a couple others already on the way, so you might say something that I've already purchased, but I guess you have to wait and see until the day I make that video. That being said, I'm excited to jump back in and play some more Fire Emblem, and then eventually move on to Pokemon X, because again, I always wanted to play this one. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content that I'm bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing can happen till you swing the bat. Later.